So last year I was actually diagnosed with ADHD, which isn't the most rare thing ever, and it seems even more common in the creative world. And yet a lot of times artists are the ones who have to keep track of more things than not. So when Plaud reached out and asked if I wanted to test out their AI note pen, I was apprehensive at first because we've all seen the year that AI pens have had, but all I can say is after about a month of using it, this feels very different than the other AI wearables on the market. So before we go into the nitty-gritty details as to how the Plaud recorder works, I want to show you how I use it in a real-world use case. Right now I'm actually headed to a creative meeting where the principal and head of marketing for my kid's school is going to be asking us if we can help out with a social media video. But it's here where I hate taking notes during meetings, and I just want to be able to sit there, listen, have a real conversation. But there's so many important details that are discussed that I don't want to miss out on. All right, I've got my coat on. It's just right on the inside there. It doesn't matter if it's covered up a little bit, and Michelle's here, so I gotta go. And since I usually forget to hit record, I'm gonna go ahead and just start it now since it has 20 hours of record and battery life. So now it's recording, it's good to go. Let's go have a good meeting.
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
It's easier to do it that way.
I think
That's
so.
what it was.
All right, so now I'm back from the meeting. I can stop the Plaud recording on the device itself, and now it's begun wirelessly transferring the files to the Plaud app, where I can easily go in and generate and let the AI kind of do its thing. I can get a full-on transcription, read through the entire conversation, and then I can look at the highlights. I can see activities and schedule things. And for me, this has been the biggest game changer use case. But if you want more details as to how this thing works, all the different accessories, how the app works step by step, keep watching because I think you may enjoy this. One thing that I really like about the Plaud is the fact that all the accessories you could really want for the product, it comes with. There are multiple different ways that you can wear the note pen. It comes with a magnetic back so you can attach it in more of a sleek look. It comes with a necklace accessory if you just want to hang it around your neck. You'll take the hook of the necklace right there and you'll align it to the side of the recorder that has the little spot for the hook to slide in. You'll hear a nice little click, and then put it on. Pull these two little ends if you want to tighten the necklace, or you can push them closer together if you want a little bit more length. All of these accessories are easy to swap out with each other. The watch band is fully magnetic, very similar to the 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙 loop from Apple Watch. If you look on the back here, you'll see these two little notches which line up to the notches on the Plaud recorder here. I'm just gonna line those up, push this through, and you can see it sits in there nicely. Pull it through the loop, lay it down, you'll feel it magnetize, and now it's nice and secure and on there. And personally, my favorite has been the clip because it's kind of double use. You can of course clip it to things, but if you notice right now, I'm also using it as the same way you use the kind of double-sided magnet, because it's still thin enough where it doesn't bother me on my skin. So I can attach it like this and clip it on like a lapel or put it in a pocket like that if I want to. But the magnet seems strong enough to where you can still put it through clothes and it looks nice. And the nice thing is because it's actually so simple and there aren't any screen speakers and interfaces that you have to deal with, it means battery life is incredible. You get 40 days standby time and up to 20 hours of continuous recording. This is very different than what we've seen from other AI wearables this year. And while of course a huge portion of interfacing with the Plaud and getting the most out of it has to do with the app that is on your phone is not required to be nearby while using it. All of the recording is happening on board here and the transfer happens after the recording is finished. I think the elephant in the room, and it was for me too when I was learning from the brand what this product was all about, why wouldn't I just open up voice memos on my phone and hit record? It's kind of a similar argument to why would you buy an Apple Watch when this is really just a companion to your phone? Well, for different tasks, different uses, this offers greater convenience at times than pulling out your phone and interfacing with a lot of the same apps. This has been so much easier to just be like, oh, yep, there's my pin. I'm just gonna press and hold on here. I felt it vibrate and now it's recording. Now, some of you may be asking, can this double as a lapel mic for voice recordings or anything like that, syncing it up to video? I think the answer is pretty clear that it's not going to be replacing any professional shotgun mics or lapels anytime soon. But again, that's not what it was made for. That's not its purpose. So far, I've really just rambled about a fancy voice recorder. But where the real powerhouse is the Plaud app. At the top, we can see our battery levels, our serial number, run our firmware updates, see everything about the pin itself. And then at the bottom under the Me section, you have your different profile. This is where you can either remain on the free version, which is going to give you 300 minutes every month of transcription time. You can buy more minutes or sign up for the pro plan, depending how much of a avid note taker you are or how often you want recordings. I think the free version can carry a lot of people. Now you'll also notice in the bottom middle is this plus icon here, and this is pretty cool because even if you don't have the Plaud no pin, if you don't want to buy this and you do just do voice recordings on your phone, you can still benefit from their app because you can actually import your own audio. This can be recorded from any mic. And basically, if you just have like an MP3 or a WAV file, you can import it into here and get all of the same features that I'm about to show you. So if we jump back to our files here, we can see just kind of a scrollable list of all the recordings. However, you can go on the left-hand side here and actually create a lot of folders and be much more organized, which I've yet to do because I'm bad at organization, but I'm getting there. That's the whole point of this product. So you can go in, you can make folders, and so if you're always having, YouTube meetings or business meetings, whatever they are, you can generate that here. And so what it will look like when you have a fresh recording, let's say this one down here, hour 6 minutes that I haven't done anything with, you'll see the recording at the top, which you can listen to, you can trim, you can play back at different speeds. You can also smart clip it, which is going to remove all of the dead space, or you can manually trim it yourself. But the AI portion of all of this, and the really powerful bit, is if you hit generate. And this is where you will pull from your minutes that you have, your 300 free minutes or your pro plan or however much you've bought. Now, depending on the length of the recording, it will take anywhere from a couple seconds to a couple minutes to, I think the most I had was, this was like a 3-hour meeting. I had down here, this was 3.5 hours that I was on a production set, and it still took maybe like 5 minutes to transcribe. So once the AI understands what was said, you will get a full transcript of everything, that entire conversation word for word. And what's cool is you can read and then just tap and it will start playing that portion of the audio recording. So this can be incredibly useful if you just want to hear for yourself word for word what was said. It's going to pull up a mind map, which this was an insane recording because this was, again, a video production. We talked about so many different things, from personal stuff to on-set stuff to whatever. And so we can literally see a mind map of everything that was discussed. And so if you're a fan of mind maps, it auto-generates that. But what I really like and was helpful for my type of brain is the summary, which is what's in the middle here. This is going to summarize everything in the conversation. Again, this was 3.5 hours on a film set. This was actually the film set for the Pepsi spec ad that we did, which was one of my last couple videos. So you can see an overview at the top, and then it just starts listening to the conversations. And every time you start a new discussion on something, it will create a new header and then kind of have the bullet points within that, and then summarize the topic of discussion on that. And this has been so helpful to come back to days later to either be like, haha, I forgot we all talked about that and it's funny personal stuff that I'm just remembering, or it's very crucial stuff. But not only is it going to summarize everything in this sort of header bullet point sort of setup, but at the bottom, it's going to create a action items list. Now, again, it's guessing. It doesn't necessarily know certain items on this list we already did the day of, so it's not something that I would then go have to do more of. But it does create a nice actions item list based on its best guess. But what I really love is this Ask AI, which is a beta feature at the moment, but we can see it pop up here on the bottom. This by far makes everything worth it in my opinion. So to show off this, I'm going to go back to this YouTube strategies meeting. This was with a couple other creators again. In this conversation, we talked about a lot of stuff, and eventually we got to YouTube strategy. And so what's cool is I could go through, read the summary, and kind of remember everything that we talked about, but we can also ask AI. And so it comes up with a couple recommendations at the top, but I can ask my own thing. So for example, based on this conversation, how should I elevate my own YouTube videos? And then it's going to use a ChatGPT model to use our conversation as its kind of source, and then go through and just kind of create a summary of what is popping up. So if you're a fan of ChatGPT, of course, that's sourcing it from so many different places and then giving you similar looking answers. But the cool thing here is you are the source of your own data, and it's just helping you be like a great assistant and reminding you of things or giving you advice based on the data that you collect yourself. Now, a couple extra little features or things to note of when dealing with generating your recordings has to do with the length of the recording that you're doing. So if you have 3 hours or less, if I go into this other note here and I hit generate, you'll see something called speaker labels, which is in beta. This I can turn on and it will basically recognize how many different people are talking. And for example, it could label me speaker 1, it could label someone else speaker 2, and that will just help the transcription, because then you can actually go through and not only see the words that are transcribed, but be like, oh, I said this, they said this, and jump around a bit easier. If your recording is longer than 3 hours, you won't be able to use that feature, at least as of the time of this recording. If your recording is longer than 7 hours, there's a brand new feature where you will be able to actually generate transcriptions based on segments, because obviously 7 hours is a very long time, and maybe you're like me and you just accidentally recorded, or you like the whole conversation, so you don't want to trim it and get rid of part of it. You just don't need to generate a summary on the entire, 8-hour recording. And that way you don't have to eat up all those minutes transcribing. You can just choose different sections within that. And again, I have mine selected to ChatGPT 4.0, but you can also use Claude 3.5, whatever AI model you want to test out and see which gives better results based on your preference. And then you have these different summary templates, and there's a bunch of different ones here that you can go through. Again, I suggest testing them out for various different situations and use cases. So meeting, consulting, and you can kind of see what it will give you based on the different template you want to go with. So task assignment is going to look to create tasks and more action items, look at deadlines. Because one of the big areas I wanted to test this out on was film sets to see what sort of data it would collect. I just kept it on autopilot, and honestly for me, the majority of the time I do just like the autopilot summary. I feel like it gives me a good balance of everything, but it's nice to know that there are other templates in here, and at the bottom you can put requests in for more templates based on your own specific needs. So at the end of the day, there's been a lot of craze around AI this year, and it's just going to keep happening, and specifically with wearable AI products. Most have come under fire, but for this one, I honestly think it's fairly priced, both in the physical hardware as well as with the subscription through the app. I like that you can not only use the recordings from this, but import your own audio recordings from other microphones. The hardware is fantastic. While this product may not be for everyone, for the people that do want to utilize it, like myself, it definitely is a no gimmick, simple product that is offering a much more convenient and, in my case, brain helping solution. So while there have been many flops this year when it comes to AI wearables, I think the Plaud No Pin stands out as a success because it's really a no gimmick, simple product that, yes, your phone can accomplish a lot of the same things, but similar to the Apple Watch, it adds a layer of convenience that you just don't have to think about as many steps or go through as many hoops to get a really nice, productive, enhancing experience. I think it's reasonably priced both for the hardware of the physical product as well as the app subscription. There's a lot of really powerful features in there currently. I know there's a lot of more powerful features in beta and are coming more down the road. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot of bad things to say about it, honestly. Since day one, it's kind of done exactly what it's supposed to do. But I would love to hear what you guys think about it down in the comments below. What new features would you like to see, or any questions you may have? Happy to answer them down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.